Looksmaxxing been wrong since the time it started, and we can see this since it began with the TikTok. We can see how it gonna be ended up. And alright, let me talk about the Komoro or slash Gorilla 2012 front type of skull that they want. And it really annoying, man, seeing those youth trying to be like this one specific model that they see, and they not playing with their limitation, they not playing with their DNA. Like, no, they want, no matter what, they want to change their identity, whatever race, whatever, they want to be this specific guy. They have only one goal: to be like him, to be like that model, one model. I'm not being judgmental there, but there is some limitation on the face, on the bone, on the skull, of course. They only have one goal. Annoying me is we cannot get this into their skull. Ironically, you cannot change to be like this on just whatever YouTube short you see or TikTok video you saw, or maybe just for biting a little bit harder. And they're not caring about biology or something like that. They just do what they think the TikTok do. They just trust the process, the trust me bro. You don't have to get this type of skull to be attractive. And yet again, the problem with those people is their lack of knowledge, their lack of anatomy, their lack of the biology. And to get something similar like that, the only possible way is to be born again and to go to the specific harsh diet and lifestyle to achieve something like a little bit similar like that. And yeah, you cannot achieve it with a bone smashing or two video you saw on the YouTube. It is really not about that, and you really don't need to be like this. There's something much better if you want to improve your maxing. So they're not improving their look anymore. They just and I really cannot hold and cringing my ball off when I see their edit or whatever they moral worshiper are, dude. Like, alright, gonna go more into this. This is only the thing that I need to talk about. They need to study some knowledge and biology, like what I says, and anatomy. Alright. And again, I do believe the skull could change the look and face feature. And yet again, it is not about the Camaro type of skull. Even their supermodel aren't having the same skull that they shown on the YouTube or the TikTok. The anatomy are wrong, and it is always about the good skull, the good normal type skull. This is what really perfect. And if we go to their model that they worship and we examine their skull, they're not gonna be near this type of Camaro. I'm sorry for using that too much, guys. I really milk this type of I really milk the joke so much. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, it is about only the healthy, perfect human type of skull. You just need a little fat there on the perfect part of the skull and a little bit bone there, and you're gonna be the supermodel. You're gonna be the perfect human being. And it is always about the good health. It is about the how healthy the bone tissue are. And there's of course a limitation of the DNA. You cannot be like that. The DNA always gonna hold. The gene is always gonna hold you back. Mostly the supermodel has better face, muscle, and fat ratio with a little more bone on the good place, like what I said before. And of course you need a gray skull, and of course they have to learn the anatomy first, like what I said before. Those guys, they have a really lack of knowledge since they are an edgy teens or something like that. And they just have vulnerable mind. Whatever knowledge whatever knowledge they saw on the internet, they gonna apply this without thinking about the consequence about this type of action that they doing and how the permanent bad thing happen. And yet again, I really believe the skull could change the structure of the face and the look itself. We gotta believe that there is limitation, in your DNA or whatever, and you gotta work around this one, not against it, because anything against the nature isn't gonna end well. Alright, let's go into a really, really deep Looksmaxxing iceberg, and we're gonna stumble upon a golden ratio type of Looksmaxxing, and it is really interesting. I'm really impressed about this one, and I'm really impressed about those teams that using mathematics equation and golden ratio to determine the shape of the face and measuring a lot of stuff actually, which is very impressive. And when I get deeper into this type of Looksmaxxing measurement, I discovered that it is really black belt. Like I'm talking, they're gonna humiliate you for being having a gray eye or eye shape or whatever. I'm gonna put some picture on it, but it is really black belt for those kid. I didn't expect that from them actually. But yet again, I really impressed about the huge amount of the mathematics and the equation that they doing actually. I mean, I believe they not into this type of thing, but they not measuring, they're just putting some line and blah blah blah. But for a kid that using these type of thing, yeah, it is really impressive actually. But yet again, since the Looksmaxxing community have a lot of teens, like what I said before, gonna go worse and worse, and it start with a little bit of equation to determine the public knowledge of the beauty or whatever, or handsome. Being handsome or ugly, it is about the opinion of the guy who see you, or the person who see you. But why they making this one is to make it like public opinion about this, like the public opinion about this. And yeah, you really don't need to ask a hundred of thousands of people to see. So yeah, it started like this, and you know, with their toxic teenager, they make it so black pill, they make it really toxic. They gonna humiliate you for your eye shape, maybe for your noise or any thing that you born with. Sometimes the skin too, the skin tone. So yeah, you know where these things are gonna ended up in. But day after day, and this type of Looksmaxxing community is gone. The measurement type, it turned into an edit all the time. They're not using their brain anymore. They're not using their golden ratio anymore. But this is very, like what I said before, this is really impressive to see those people. There's some people using their mind at least, which is kind of good. And I really like that, but the way they describe it, the way they gonna humiliate you for anything, it is really wild. It is really horrible, brutal, cruel. But yeah. And to remind you this, guys, this is really the deepest you can go with the Looksmaxxing. The other Looksmaxxing levels are really cringe, filled with the teens, edgy teens, and this is really the problem with the age of the mind of vulnerability, and the age of taking the knowledge without asking, and also at the age of efficiency, where everything you eat, you drink, you consume is really not about your health. It is really about the efficiency. And yeah, this is where Looksmaxxing came to live like a normal human being. Not at this age I'm talking, but normal human being should be lived. There is a lot of stuff that not being studied, or not into a public knowledge. A lot of stuff like how the summer should make you sleep less, that aren't anywhere being studied. And this is when the Looksmaxxing community start. But it really shifted and changed with a lot of people we see. And I'm not saying that it is 100% horrible, but you can say 90% actually, and I agree with that. A little bit of good stuff in it, A little bit, really a little bit. Especially nowadays, yeah, you're not gonna see a lot of good thing. I go through a lot of cringing. Yeah, I really cringe my balls off with those people. Really tired of them. That way, I'm making that video. Alright, simply in the conclusion, with all that, with all the problem on the human being or anybody who exists, the good solution is the nature itself. Look, you don't need 500 videos on the YouTube, or you don't need that 5,000 videos for the TikTok of Looksmaxxing to accomplish the best version of yourself. It has been always along, on front of our faces. The nature. The Looksmaxxing community being aware of that we live in an affordable and profitable, efficient way of living, or the efficiency age. And this is what the Looksmaxxing community start with to give the people the knowledge to be lived like a normal human being. And day after day, it got toxic because it turned into an advertisement for the bills. And actually, this is the problem with the medical nowadays. They not give you the solution. They just shut you temporarily. Like they gonna give you the bill, and you're gonna be addicted, so you're gonna pay for it. And there, it is not really fixing it. It is just to shut it temporarily, and it gonna cost a lot. And this is what they really hate to talk about it. To be in with the nature, even the pain on the nature is much healthier than the pain or the boredom you got in the office, the chemical you adjust, the stuff that make you ancient. And this is why there is a lot of mental health going on here in the world. Even being bored in the nature is much better to be on your room or of the work. So it is not really about the videos or the people who make your life better. You could discover all that on a matter of month or week living in the nature. And if you make it that far, man, you are a legend. I love you, man. Comment 88. I really do love you. And please enjoy your day. Thank you very much.